Oh, yeah, NBA Straya, how are you going? How you going? You're probably doing better than me. TGIF, am I right? Oh, God. Bit hungover, a bit dusty today. Just call me Dusty Martin. Bloody hell. Watching the footy last night, a few tins, got under the belt, and then you just watched Carlton capitulate. It was horrible. Anyway, this is NBA Straya. I am your host, James Clements, here in Larryama Studios. Big one today, big weekend preview. We've got some awesome listening Nas as well. But really, Steph Curry. What a fun story that is. We've also got some injury news. We've got, the game wraps from today. We've got That's on the Night, Old Mate, No Mate, Spud of the Night, Better Than Lonzo Ball. We've got some Nas. The Unpopular Opinion of the Day and Outback Takehouse, as well as the Shane Hill Shoot Your Shot, Light 'em Up award, of course. And we'll pick and preview all the games of the weekend. And really quickly, chicken with the Aussies. No one played today. So, yeah, it'll be a very quick one, I reckon. Anyway, the weekend ahead, though, looks very, very tasty. So we'll set you up very nicely for that. So without further ado, let's get into it. Episode 1225 of NBA Straya. Let's go!
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Darcy Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
Hi, this is Ryan Brockhoff.
This is Miss Creek. This is Nick Kay.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening and watching NBA Straya.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the Shaq attack.
You better. Especially if you chuck Shaq, they're going to beat this Golden State team. They didn't. Shaq throwing money on the table. Anyway, whatever. Let's start today's show the way we start every show here at NBA Straya, the daily whip around, usually with a bit of a whinge. I don't know, just a bit dusty today. You get that on the big jobs, few tins under the belt. Last night, as mentioned at the top, watching the footy because footy's back, which is fun. But wow, Carlton are horrible. That was very funny. Anyway, otherwise, it's a weird one. So inside the NBA, I sort of hit on this in the Shaq attack, right? You just got Shaq throwing like giant lumps of money on the table. You got Lefko hanging out, just not being Ernie. And you're like, what are we doing here? It's very much a mid-March inside the NBA where Chuck's like, I can start thinking about the tournament. And he gets into college basketball very soon. But anyway, let's start with the news. De'Aaron Fox. That's right. The Daily Whip Around is full of shutdowns. That's right. De'Aaron Fox is going under the knife for it's a bunged up pinky. That's right. He's got tendon damage in his left pinky, so he's got to go get that surgerized. Which sucks, but also you probably could have seen the writing on the wall for this one. As soon as Wemby went down, it was probably a ticking clock on like, let's shut down De'Aaron Fox so he doesn't get hurt. So, checks out. Tough one for the Spurs, but, as I said, this was probably going to happen at some point. Paul George, same sort of vibes. I love this one because they reported it like, yeah, he's going to have a chat with some doctors this week and a decision is expected early next week as to whether or not his groin and knee injuries, like whether or not he's going to play the rest of it. No, he's gone. He's done. Pack her up. Including a possible procedure. I love that. It's like, oh, yeah, we might. This is a possible procedure. Is this possible to do it? Oh, yeah, maybe. Then bloody well do it. Paul George is cooked. We'll talk about him again in Nas, but wow. What an underwhelming season for the Philadelphia 76ers. Like, even if it had have just been whelming, they would have been fine. But this has been a disaster, and it might end up working in their favor if they do keep this top 6 protected pick of theirs by finishing, 5th worst in the NBA. Amazing work. Good job, Sixers. Daryl Morey, he's a genius. Below Koulibaly, there's another one who's been shut down. Probably he's got a hammy strain. That's like 4 to 6 weeks, so that should be him done. A bit of a shame because he's actually shown a little bit here and there, has Below Koulibaly. You got to remember, he's like super young as well. So the fact that he's sort of out there for the Wiz, toiling away in obscurity. He's averaging 12.5 points a game, 5 rebounds, 3.5 assists, shooting 42% from the floor. But he's had like these nice flashes. And there's like been a sort of steady consistency to his game, which is pretty good, considering he's like 20. Like, it's pretty good. So that's a bit of a shame for the Wizards fans out there, all 4 of them. And then 2 little bits of good news for injuries. Jaden Ivey. He's out of his walking boot. Look out, Pistons fans. Here we go. This is good, I guess, because, I mean, they have looked pretty bloody good, sans Jaden Ivey, haven't the Pistons? But giving Kate Cunningham another weapon next to him, I mean, that's only but a good thing, right? Surely. The thing is, he's out of his walking boot. He's like, running, strengthening, basically, it might take him a little while, but because the Pistons are sort of in that dogfight through the 4, 5, 6 seeds in the East, they've got like a little bit of time up their sleeve. Like, they don't go straight into a play-in. There's even a couple of extra days after the actual season finishes where, if he's getting up to game speed, maybe he's back for the first round. Who knows? Maybe before then. Bit of an interesting one. Keep an eye on Jaden Ivey. And the really awesome news for the Aussies, Aussie Matty T. Matisse Tybal, remember him? No, Jim, I don't, because he hasn't played all year. That's right. Remember, he was cut from the Boomers by Gorge at the last second, and we spent the entire bloody Olympics going, geez, it'd be pretty nice if we could bloody guard anybody with, like, I don't know, some sort of 6'7" wing. Meanwhile, Matisse Tybal's at home in Portland. Anyway, back from his ankle injury yesterday, he was available for that game against the Knickerbockers that came down to the absolute wire. Mikal Bridges goes bang. So obviously I had to tape yesterday's show a little bit early. And the last 2 games of yesterday's slate were pretty chaotic, pretty fun. You had the Knicks-Blazers game, and then the Wolves just end up stomping the Nuggets. But the Knicks beat the Trailblazers in overtime. Mikal Bridges, like, really good. Like, really, really good. And it's probably, like, a bit of a silver lining for the Jalen Brunson injury might be that it just, like, lights a fire under Mikal Bridges' ass and, like, has Tibbs going, hang on, he's pretty good. Maybe you should run some offense through him sometimes, and off they go. But anyway, Matisse Tybal came back, was available yesterday, didn't play. Chauncey Billups also did mention, I haven't seen him in practice, moving around and stuff yet, so maybe soon we get to see Matisse. Fingers crossed he comes back, stays healthy the rest of the way. Good times, great memories, Aussie Matty T. Doo-Wop was okay yesterday. I think I mentioned on yesterday's show he hit like one shot and then didn't hit another one the rest of the way. I think he might have gotten into another one, but anyway. Let's do some game wraps from today's slate. Game wraps. Only 5 games, and boy did we miss on the picks. I think we nailed 2 of them, 2 of the 5. So Washington beat Detroit. What the hell, man? The Pistons were there, like, had an awesome fight back in the third quarter, and then the Wiz just put the foot down late. Cade had 38 and 10, and no one else did shit for Detroit. It was horrible. They're 37 and 30. It's a tough loss because, look, as I mentioned the other day, was a Wednesday show, the standings check-in show. They are right there with a chance to get the 4 seed, the Detroit Basketball Pistons. They are only 1 game behind the Milwaukee Bucks, who are 37 and 28. The Pistons are 37 and 30, but, I mean, that's 18 games back of the Cavs versus 19. So they're 1 game separating the Bucks to the Pistons, and in between, in this Eastern Conference shit sandwich, are the Indiana Pacers. But tough one for the Pistons, because you win that game, which you should, you're still right there with a puncher's chance. So a bit of a shame. And yeah, the Wiz, what do they do? Who cares? Like, they're 14 and 51. They're locked in one of the worst 3 records of the NBA anyway. The Lakers!
The Lakers stink!
Again. Oh, you hate to see it. 106-126. They lose in Milwaukee. So that's the old double loss, wasn't it, for Detroit, right? They lose. The Bucks get a win. The gap ever widens. 4 Bucks with 20-plus points. Brook Lopez played his ass off. The Lakers got... So as I said, 38 for Cade Cunningham for the Detroit Pistons. Luka was incredible for the Lakers. But he and, Austin Reeves, the only ones doing bloody anything. So Milwaukee absolutely smashed them. Malik Beasley chucked in 16 just for good measure as well. Good win for the Bucks. As mentioned, 37-28, back up into the 4 spot. The Lakers are now 40-24. They've lost 3 on the trot. No LeBron. It's getting a bit hairy. I'll talk about them later in year nars. Brooklyn fell short against the Bulls after a big comeback from the Bulls. Got them ahead. They were down 12 in the third quarter. 116-110. They beat the Nets despite Cam Thomas. Kobe White and Cam Thomas just did the Spider-Man meme and had a shootout. It was pretty fun. Good win for the Bulls. They are just locked into the 10 seed anyway in the East. So, well, they're only 1.5 games back of this Heat team that can't win a game. So maybe keep winning, get the 9 seed. Then you get a home court playing game. Jerry Reinsdorf would love that. Why is that, Jim? Well, he makes money from a home game, doesn't he? Yes. Anyway, Chicago, Brooklyn, whatever. Orlando beat the absolute pants off the New Orleans Pelicans, 113-93. It wasn't even that close. It was a 30-point deficit at halftime. Palo Bengaro. And Franz Wagner, hello. They outscored the Pelicans by themselves in the first half. I think they had 44 and the Pels had 38. So just Paolo, I think he had 24. Franz had 20, didn't miss a shot. This game was over. Tough one for the Pels. I think they had 14 made shots in the first half. It's just absolutely horrible. That's a good bounce-back win for the Magic. They need to keep on winning. They've got their noses in front of the Heat. They're currently in the 8 spot, 31-36. Meanwhile, the Pels, whatever. This is them now officially eliminated from the playoffs, though. They're 18-49. You're telling me there's a chance? No, not anymore, because you're done. And then finally, Sacramento just got by the Warriors, 130-104. I thought they put up a bit of a fight. The Warriors, look, Levine couldn't hit a shot. Malik Monk couldn't hit a shot. Well, Zach Levine could hit a shot. He went 5 of 6, 4 of 4 from 3. But he took only 6 shots in 32 minutes. It was chaos. Meanwhile, Malik Monk, 3 of 13. He was horrible. Keon Ellis was okay, but no one else from the Kings stepped up, and the Warriors just kept scoring. It was like, as soon as Steph had a quiet one, it didn't matter because Buddy Hield hit 4 threes. Gary Payton the second, the mitten, he hit 3 threes. Quentin Post hit 3 threes, and the big one was Draymond having his best game in basically forever, 23, 4 and 4. He goes 4 of 7 from downtown, 8 of 14 overall, and they just curb stomped the Kings. So Steph gets his 2 threes to get to 4,000, which we'll talk about in 1 second. That's pretty bloody big. But didn't have to do too much more. He was carrying a back injury. They sat him late, and they'd smashed him. So the Kings dropped to 33-32. The Warriors are now up to 38-28. Pretty interesting sort of mix, right? Because the Kings are now in the 9 spot, 1.5 games back. Well, 2.5 games back now, the Clippers, and only 1 game ahead of the Mavs. The Warriors are a half game back up on the Wolves at 38-28. 3 games back of the Rocks and the Lakers. That's why it gets interesting for the Lakers, just saying. Right, let's do an NBA Straya Approved Performer of the Day.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
Bloody hell, Luka. 45, 11, and 3. Hot damn! That was pretty bloody good. He went 14 of 27. He's hitting just stupid circus shots. 7 of 13 from downtown. Very, very nice. 10 of 12 of the line. He and Reeves just carried the team, but no one else did anything else, and they didn't play any defense, so cooked. I want to give this one to Kobe White, which was awesome. He was fantastic against the Nets. Carried them to the win. Ends up 12 of 24, 3 of 8 from 3. 31, 7 and 4. Really, really, really good game. And as I mentioned, Draymond. Fantastic. 23, 4 and 4 with 4 turnovers, but 4 of 7 from 3. As soon as he's got that old man grey beard thing going and he's hitting threes, this game was done. It was just cooked, mate. Back her up, you're done. So, great job there. Honorable mention, obviously, to Cade Cunningham, as I alluded to, and Paolo Banchero had the 34, 11, 4 and 4 steals. 14 to 22, a big win for the Magic men. Some good performances today. What about the Spuds, though?
Spud, 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 it is Spud. Spud of the night.
Spud of the night. We had a few of them. What do we have? We had 0 of 4 for Jet Howard, poor enough for him. 1 of 7 for Trendon Watford, 2 of 10 for Keegan Murray, 3 of 13, as I mentioned, for Malik Monk. Pair of former Lakers. Malik Well, Malik Monk is a former Laker as well. But D'Angelo Russell and Kyle Kuzma both shot 2 of 9. But I would very much like to thank Tim Hardaway the Lesser for saving the day. And what did he shoot, Jim? What did he shoot? Oh, yes! Woo! Chill! Yeah! He shot 311. Your beauty! Thank you very much, Tim Hardaway Jr., for spudding it up and shooting 311. What about old mate, no mates?
Old mate, no mates. Old mate, no mates. Old mate, no mates. Old mate, no mates. Old mate, no mates.
Who's got no mates today? Alex Len, just absolute copping drive-bys from Reggie Miller. Here's the problem, Kev. Len's not guarding anyone. He's not scoring. He's not round-bound. Go small if you're the Lakers. Okay, Reggie. Alex Len's like, hey, man, they don't call me the Ukrainian stepladder for nothing. But, I mean, when Reggie Miller's like, man, this dude's not doing shit, you're like, that's a bit of old mate. No mates right there. Pantsing of the night.
Fatty, fat.
Yeah, what Orlando did to New Orleans was just, I mean, it's illegal in Louisiana. But still. My favorite, though, was also Luka talking to Thanasis Antetokounmpo on the bench, just talking shit the entire time. That was great. Thing is, like, that's good, Luka, but you've also got to, like, I don't know, win. Like, it's funny to talk shit to Thanasis. It's like talking shit to, like, I don't know. Like, Bronny, you don't want to talk, like, Bronny's a rookie. Thanasis is just, like, he's just shit at basketball, right? So that's kind of funny. You can talk shit at him. But, wow. Also, you got to win that game. Bit of a tough one. Who is better than Bronny James / Lonzo Ball / Ben Simmons?
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. We're coming for everybody.
Coming for everybody. We've got a couple of these ones. KPJ, Kevin Porter Jr., has been just quietly pretty bloody solid for the Bucks. He had 22, 3 and 1 with a couple of steals today, 5 of 7 from downtown, and 7 of 7 in the line. Cam Thomas, 24 points and 10 assists. That was unreal. 6 rebounds too. But my favorite is probably former NBL next star and, you know, same as Lonzo Ball, a number 2 pick. Number 2? Did I just say number 2? Number 2 pick in the NBA draft, Alexander Sarr. 19, 5 and 3 with 4 blocks against the Detroit basketball Pistons. He was everywhere in that game as well. Like, it's a weird thing. I don't know how many Wizards games you watch. It's probably not many. That's fine. I end up, you know, I watch a lot of basketball. Oh, do you, Jim, with your daily NBA show? Yes. And you can watch Wizards games and, like, Sarr will be out there and you will not fucking notice him, right? Which is pretty difficult for, like, a 7-foot-40 French bloke. The same thing, though, was kind of what happened when he was on the Wildcats, right? But he was really good in this game for the simple fact, like, you know, I'm watching Detroit, paying attention, love me some Pistons, and he really impacted the game. He was really, really good. And, I mean, it's probably not a giant sort of step to go, oh, it's probably his best well-rounded game. I mean, he's had a couple of 20-point games here and there, but this is probably one of his better, just like, I'm going to really impact the game and we're actually going to win. He had a game against Toronto a couple of weeks ago that he was pretty good in too, but there you go. Alexander Sarr, better than Lonzo Ball and Ben Simmons and Bronny James. How about everyone's favorite? What do we got? Oh, yes, it's about time for it. I enjoyed sitting down with our star quarterback Jaden Daniels and his mum Regina Jackson today, talking about this upcoming season and life after football. Commander fans, we have a true leader. It was great to get to know Jaden off the field and listen to his mum's vision for his brand. At JD5, at lovely Mrs. Jackson. Thanks, Magic. The dude's played 1 year of football and, like, it's like, what about life after football? Magic's like, I've got some stories to tell you. It's like, oh, okay. That's great. Anyway, there was a bit of a sad one this week, and I only hit it on, like, what, Tuesday show, whatever. Let's give this one to Magic, because it's actually a really good one. I'm saddened to hear of the passing of my friend Junior Bridgman. I had the privilege of playing against him, and I'll never forget how he had one of the sweetest jump shots in the NBA. But it was his character, his kindness, and his gentle soul that truly left a lasting impression on me. He was one of the nicest guys you would ever want to meet. What people don't realize is Junior didn't make a fortune as a player, but he turned what he earned into something extraordinary, becoming a billionaire African-American businessman in this country. His business portfolio included owning 450 Wendy's and Chili's franchises in 20 states, Coca-Cola bottling operations in the US and Canada, Ebony and Jet magazines, Valhalla Golf Club in Louisville, and he was a minority owner of the Milwaukee Bucks. And then sort of goes on and on and on. It's a really, really good post. And it's like the Junior Bridgman story is really, really quite remarkable. Bucks legend, but I mean, for the simple idea of he really showed folks like Magic that, yeah, basketball's all well and good, but here's what you do after it. And he was like, apparently just, as Magic pointed out, one of the nicest dudes in the world. So the outpouring around the NBA and around the association has been really good to see about Junior Bridgman, but go check that out. And anyway, on that nice note, let's finish off with a bad one. Dickhead of the week.
Dickhead of the week.
Oh my God. Ever see something and just go, oh, this guy is a fucking idiot. There you go. That's right. The Mavericks owner, Patrick Dumont. Remember that dipshit? The guy who traded away a 25-year-old MVP candidate for a broken down 32-year-old? Yeah. He's just got to shut the fuck up, doesn't he? Dig up, stupid. The objective was, how do we create a roster for the future? Hey, Patrick, I don't know. Keeping the 25-year-old MVP candidate as opposed to trading him for a 32-year-old broken down Anthony Davis and one fucking pick, idiot. Seriously. He's like, oh, it's a long-term decision. Well, Nico Harrison was saying it was a win now move, that they are trying to win titles. It's like, talk about some contradiction. Look, so he's sat down, he's been interviewed by this bootlicking fucking interviewer, right? Patrick Dumont. And he sort of goes into this long-winded bullshit explanation about how, why he did it. And he's like, yeah, I mean, at the end, like Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Anthony Davis, and either Derek Lively or Dan Gafford, that puts fear in everybody in the NBA. It's like, yeah, but fucking none of them are healthy, you idiot. And he had Luka, who also scared the fucking pants off the NBA because he made their finals last year, you idiot. Have you ever met this happens to me on the odd occasion. You just meet someone so fucking beige and uninspiring at like either an executive or management level, and you're just like, oh, you just like nothing, right? There's very little there. And when they get to the upper echelons like this, the fail son executive type, where you're like, oh, you've never actually done anything, created anything in your actual life, have you? And you meet those people and it's just like, ugh, gross in the back of your brain. He's that dude. He is the fucking worst. Every time he opens his mouth, you're like, oh, dude, you are a fucking moron. So there you go. And every Mavs fan, I think, has the absolute right to go, yeah, I'm done. This guy's a fucking moron and I am out. Like, that's what you should be doing if you're a Mavs fan. Because that dude be like, oh, yeah, it's a long-term decision. Trading for a 32-year-old. Trading your 25-year-old for a 32-year-old broken down Anthony Davis. What? For one draft pick, you fucking idiot. Like, it makes no sense. And you just listen to him talk, you're like, nah, you just don't know what the fuck you're doing. So, yeah, dickhead of the week. Just shut up, idiot. Don't do any public appearances. Dig up, stupid. All right, let's do some yeah-nahs. Right after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're
Straya.
listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, let's do some yeah-nahs. Got some good ones too. I would argue, we've got a couple of really good listener ones too. I'll start though. Will anyone ever break LeBron's scoring record or Steph's three-point record? Yeah, nah. I kind of don't think so. Because you think, even with the rise of three-point attempts or whatever, right? Like, I don't know if there's going to be too many players with the accuracy and the absolute fucking pure green light of Steph Curry to get to that sheer volume of made threes. 4,000 is absolutely absurd, right? And you've seen like the, I think we posted, I mean, the joke was the Ben Simmons joke I made on the old Facey and whatnot. But you just look how far ahead of him he already is, of like everybody else. Like, so since he went past Reggie Miller at 2,560, just think about that. Reggie Miller, 1,500 less threes than Steph. Steph has made another 1,500 more since he broke Reggie. And Ray Allen's all-time record is over 1,000 ahead of that. That's another entire third of the record on top of what the old record was. James Harden's at 3,124, which is what, 876 behind? 876. And James Harden has talk about you want green lights and fucking three-point attempts. That's Harden out the wazoo. And you do feel like Steph will probably age even, like, we know that he's pretty old, but like, he can kick around for another couple of years and just shoot threes. Dame's at 2,700. Clay at 2,600. LeBron at 2,500. I don't think it's going to get broken. It's absolutely insane, that record. And same, like Anthony Edwards might be the one where you go, the attempts and like the sheer green light, but I just don't know about the accuracy. Like that's kind of the thing about Steph. To make 4,000, you have to have all those attempts and you got to fucking hit 4,000. That's hard. It's a lot of threes. So I'm just saying, it's just a lot. But yeah, I don't think anyone's going to top the 50K total for LeBron because you got to play 21, 22 years and be the absolute focal point of your offense from day one, right? Which is really hard as a rookie. So I think that's probably even more impossible, just the sheer volume of that. Yeah. But 4K, I just don't know if it'll get done. I don't think wherever Steph ends up, wherever it's like 4,500, whatever, I just don't think it's ever going to be broken. Absolutely incredible. All right, we've got a good one. So yeah, that was really cool to see today. 4,000 is just fucking incredible. We'll talk about that again in a second. Dave Boo had a good one. Davey Brown. Hey, buddy, you've been watching the NBA longer than me. Tell me something. What is the MVP award? Is it the best player in the world? If so, there is no argument. It's the Joker. How can it not be? He's on track to finish top 3 in the league in points, rebounds, and assists. Never been done in the history of the NBA. If it's the best player on the best team, it's probably Shea. Educate me, please. Dave. I absolutely love this question. Because you know what the answer is? The MVP is whatever you want it to be. And as long as you back it up with a fucking argument, that's great. Go hammer and tongs. I said yesterday, right? Like, Cade Cunningham. If you take him from Detroit, they have absolutely zero fucking chance of being a top 6 seed, right? That is a very valuable player. You take Jokic off Denver, probably the same sort of thing. SGA, they're still really solid, but they also then really lack that top-end talent, right? If you just had J-Dub, Chet, and like a replacement level player at the SGA position, like they're pretty good, but they're not fucking 12 games ahead of everybody in the West good, right? So that's kind of the thing. I have always approached MVP with the simple idea of like a snapshot of this year. And it shits me if you go back in time. The MJ years, right? The MJ years where MJ didn't win the MVP. And what Dave is saying is like, is it the best player in the world? It's like, well, it kind of isn't. Or else MJ would have had even more MVPs. LeBron would have more MVPs. It's more about a snapshot of that year. Who was the best player? And then we look back in the past and go, why the fuck did Karl Malone win MVP over MJ? And you're like, people got bored of Michael Jordan. And you're like, yes, that's a stupid fucking thing. And Karl Malone's stats were insane, right? And they were really good. They made the finals twice, right? So the thing is, I think you get to the end of a season like this one and you go, Joker, incredible year, statistical, like no one's ever done this. It's historic shit. SGA's leading the league. He's having one of the single greatest seasons in the history of the NBA from a guard ever. Like, no one has really scored at that rate, that efficiently, and been that good defensively, and also been the best player on the best team in the NBA. Like, it's quite remarkable. So, Joker, I feel like, has already got 3 MVPs. So, what you're seeing is now the narrative switching out. Oh, he's already got fucking 3. We're all bored of Jokic. He doesn't even like basketball. He's more about horses. Yes, I like horses. Fucking MVPs. This is bullshit. And so the SGA arguments are very much like he is the absolute fucking best player on the best team in the NBA, or at least in the West, depending on whether or not the Cavs finished with a better record than them. But he's leading the league in scoring. Everything he does is so wildly efficient and so central to what OKC do that, yeah, you can argue for him, you can argue against him. The Joker argument is very simple as well. And to be honest, this is the answer, Dave. It is whatever you want it to be. The most valuable player. That's why it's called it's why it's so nebulous. It's not called the NBA's Best Player of the Year award. Because that's like, all right, well, who's got the most stats? Most valuable is purposefully nebulous, which is kind of the fun part. And if you go back and sort of look, we don't often get MVP wrong. There's just even Russell Westbrook's like sort of rubbishy one in 16-17, he was still putting up like basically a triple-double. Jokic is doing the exact same thing now. When Embiid won it, people just got kind of sick of Joker. Like when Harden won in 18, yeah, like Curry, unanimous, incredible stuff. LeBron having only 4 across his entire career is pretty crazy, but I mean, Kobe only got 1. And that's kind of like the argument when you look at the MVP stuff, right? So was Kobe the best player in the NBA for this stretch of time? It's like him or Tim Duncan? Yes. Why did Steve Nash win 2? It's like, well, he stole 1 from Kobe, basically. But Steve Nash was also a pivotal piece on a team that did really, really well. And that's the same sort of thing with KG and Tim Duncan and Allen Iverson. The Karl Malone stuff in like 97 was just still fucking chaos to me, but I don't know. MJ won a shit ton. Larry Bird won a shit ton. Magic won a shit ton. And they were all deserving. Like David Robinson in 95. It's like, yeah, he was fucking awesome. But yeah, Karl Malone winning over MJ 97 is still always a bit janky, but still putting up stats. Really valuable to his team. Derrick Rose in 11 over LeBron. People just got sick of LeBron. But Derrick Rose also had an incredible season. So it is what you want it to be, I think. And we usually get it right. Usually. Just saying. Let me know what you reckon. Matt Ryan, Matty former Atlanta Falcons quarterback. Jim, yeah, nah. The Warriors should sign Pat Bev on the vet minimum for the rest of the season. No one is getting through a 7-game series with Draymond, Pat Bev, and Jimmy Butler barking and trash-talking them the whole time. Yeah, nah. Yes, I fucking love this idea and wish I'd had it. That's how good that idea is. We might have, if the Warriors had Pat Bev on their team, we might have the first ever playoff series where the other team just forfeits because they're fucking sick of this shit. Like, that's the official explanation. Just fucking sick of this shit. Do not want to deal with it, bro. Could you just imagine? You'd be like, oh my God, would you shut the fuck up? Nah. Like, if you've ever worked with people and you're like, you fucking suck. Like, you're just a nebulous asshole, and I do not want to be around you, right? That times 3 on the other team would be fucking crazy. I love that. Hey, would you trade for Paul George this offseason, Jim? Yeah, nah. So this is, I love a good Paul George trade article at the moment in March where he can't get traded to the offseason. He's being shut down. There's no fucking way that anyone's trading for him having looked at his body of work this year, right? They're not going to give you anything for him. with that mammoth contract. This is clearly just Daryl Morey and the Sixers going, yeah, people are definitely interested in trading for Paul George, and we're not definitely trying to drum up some sort of interest because we need to get out from this fucking mammoth crazy contract we gave him. That's the exact fucking thing they're trying to do. No one in their right mind is trading for Paul George this offseason. Not with that contract. You just can't do it. Hey, are the Lakers in a bit of trouble? Yeah, nah, maybe, yeah. So they're 40-24. The entire West, as we've sort of hit on time, is a fucking dogfight. They are tied for, well, basically the 4-5, 13 games back of the Thunder, right? So it's Lakers, Houston. They are only 3 games ahead of the Warriors, 3.5 ahead of the Wolves. That's where it gets pretty squirrel. 3 is not too many games to make up if you're the Wolves or the Warriors. And you look at their schedule the rest of the way. They play Denver tomorrow on a back-to-back. Luke is probably going to sit that out. Then they play Phoenix, San Antonio, sure. Denver again, Milwaukee again, home for Chicago. Then they're on the road in Orlando, Indy, Chicago, and Memphis. That is just, like, that only gets us to, like, the end of March. And then they've got, like, another 2-week stretch where they play OKC twice, as well as Houston twice, and Golden State in there as well. It could get pretty squirrely for the Lakers. I'm just saying. So that's definitely a big yeah from me. All right, unpopular opinion of the day.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
I would love to see the Lakers drop down to around the 6th seed because that would give us, like, I don't know, Denver Lakers, anyone? That would be pretty fucking good, just saying. But if I'm Denver and you're in the 3 spot, I think you'd want the Lakers, wouldn't you? Because I want no bar of the Wolves. We just saw them kick the shit out of them yesterday. The Wolves only being a half game out of 6. If I'm the Nugs, I'm like, no, not again. I don't want them in the first round. Stay in 7, motherfucker. Like, I don't even know if that's an unpopular opinion, but I do not want to play the Wolves in the playoffs if I'm any team. Ant-Man is feeling it. Dante's back. Naz Reid. They just don't lose now. When Julius Randle plays, it's one of the most incredible 11 straight that he's won? They're on a 6-game win streak right now. They won the 5 before he got hurt. Incredible gear. Anyway. Finally, a bit of Outback Takehouse. It's Friday at Outback, and you know what that means? Oh yeah, 4-for-1 TGIF oil drum cans full of icy cold Foster's Lager. That's right, it's Aussie for beer. Remember when it was the Foster's Australian Grand Prix? We used to buy a slab and drink it. It wasn't great, but still, we drank the fucking stuff. Now you get 4-for-1 oil drum cans only at Outback. Tell you what, add one more of those cans I've got down at the beach house in Lawn over the weekend. Not bad. And today's Flame Girl take is, if you want to talk MVPs, how about the bloke who's joined the Golden State Warriors and completely lifted them back into contendership? Jimmy Butler. He's unlocked Steph Curry. He's gone bang. They've won 6 straight. They're 9-1 in their last 10. I think they're 10-1 with him. Maybe 11-1 now. Just saying. Jimmy Butler, MVP, only at Outback. I mean, this is why the nebulous conversation of MVP is always fucking fun. You can make a case for almost anybody that you want. It's the best. All right, quick break, and then back with the Australian play, a very brief Australian play watch, and then Shane Hill shoot your shot, light 'em up award, and then the preview for the weekend.
This is Shane Hill, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, Australian Player Watch. Very easy because we had no Aussies in action today. We did have, go check the G League standings for Jack McVeigh because he went absolutely off today for the Rio Grande Valley Vipers. Went whoopang, ends up with 26 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists and a steal. And he's gone for 20 plus in 5 of his last 7 there. Not bad, not bad. But outside of that, obviously no Josh Giddey for the Bulls in the Brooklyn game. And no Taron Armstrong. He was down in the G League for the Santa Cruz Warriors. What do you have? 11, 7, and 4 as well. Just getting accustomed to it all. So, yeah, Giddey Hopefully back soon. I mean, there's no real official word. I think he's just day to day. So fingers crossed he's back very, very, very soon. But as mentioned at the top, Aussie Matty T is back for the Blazers, which is really fun. Having gotten over his ankle injury, hopefully we get to see him back out on the court very, very soon. Righto, Shane Hill, shoot a shoot, shoot your shot, light him up award. No prizes for guessing who this one is.
Are you healed? Are you healed?
Praise the Lord, I'm healed.
Praise the Lord, for I'm healed. It is the Shane Hill
Shooters shoot.
Shoot Your Shot, Light 'em Up award.
Steph Curry has 4,000 made threes. Like, he was setting a new record every time he hit a three, but 4,000, I love that, our brains gravitate to, like, round numbers. And 4,000 is just, as I said, it is more than 1,000, another third above the old record that he went past. It is absolutely awesome. I mean, he's done that in 1,012 games as well. Like, that's, to put that in perspective, you look at the Harden's stat, where he's 3,127 or whatever. He's done that in 1,130. He's played over 100 extra games. It's an entire season and a bit. Ray Allen got to his 2,973 in 1,300 games. Dame's at this 2.7 at 896 and Clay at 852. They've both been, bedeviled by injuries. And no one's going to touch that for a really long time. Absolutely insane. He's 37. He's incredible. I love it. I think he's fantastic. Steph, you legend. 4,000. And as I said, that is only 3,995 ahead of Ben Simmons. So you're telling me there's a chance. Simo, get to work. Seriously, I'm just saying, 3,995 more threes, Ben, and you'll get there. 5 career-made threes. Amazing. Pretty awesome, though, for Steph. 25,000 total points, 4,000 threes. Absolutely unreal. All right, let's do it. A bit of a Patty Mills Game Day, Baller Game Day Twitter check-in. Let's go. Patty with the good hair. There we go. Baller Pat. Oh, there we go. Baller Pat. Screaming, crying, throwing up. We love you, Baller Pat. We flew 9,688 miles from Australia to watch Patty Mills. You know what I don't believe? Someone flew from Australia to write 9,688 fucking miles. That's a fucking lie. I don't think I'll ever get over this. Mate, miles? The fuck you on about? Oh, but that's nice. It's his 30th birthday present, Josh Queerpon. Good on you, mate. Patty's loving it. Patty Mills is the most humble NBA player. Oh, there's just some really good Patty Mills gear up there now when he was down in Miami. Go check it out. Right. Let's do some game previews for the weekend. Game previews. Thanks, Inadvertent Bane. Not a problem, Jim. How's it all going? Yeah, not bad. A couple of days at the Sports NXT conference, watching, I don't know, sport nerd executive types talk about how great they all are. Always fun. I mean, I'm more interested about like what they're trying to do next than like what the fucking tech-led stuff would be, but whatever. Instead, it's Eddie Maguire taking fucking victory laps. But still, remember, you can find all of our daily NBA picks over at Dabble. You can follow us. Just use the code NBA Straya. But all I do ask is you click on the link in the show description or on the Facey and IG stories or underneath the post on Twitter to tell them we sent you. We've got our daily best multi, which is like the chaos, massive vibes multi for the day. Some same game multis up there as well. If that's your thing, go check it out. Use the code NBA Straya over at Dabble. We appreciate it. Got to keep this pirate ship afloat somehow. Appreciate it. If that's not your thing, that's cool, man. I appreciate you anyway. All right. We were 2 of 5 on the picks today. It was a bit of a brutal one. Detroit giving up the go. Sacramento stinking. And Brooklyn not being able to keep like a lead. Just good tanking is always a classic. Saturday, we have Boston at Miami. I think the Celtics will be hurting after their game the other day. I reckon there's a bit of a painful... I mean, yeah, that OKC game was a bit wonky. I don't think Miami are ready for this. Give me the Celtics minus 7.5. Indy go to Philly. They are 11.5 point favorites. Another fun sort of like... Indy, if they can put the foot down and really kick the crap out of somebody, Philly are going to cop one. So I think Indy minus 11.5. The Clippers visit Atlanta. You know what's really good in Atlanta? The strip clubs. You know what James Harden really likes? Strip clubs. Atlanta plus 3.5. Yo, Biote. Dallas in Houston. Interesting one, this one. The Rockets have been pretty good. It's an 11.5 point line. Dallas just don't have any dudes, though. And, like, they did play the Spurs pretty close the last couple of games. I just don't. I think Houston are a completely different kettle of fish at this point. 11.5 is a bit much, though. Let's go plus 11.5 for Dallas. Can they keep in touch? Maybe. It's not much of a road trip from Dallas to Houston. Cleveland at Memphis. Cleveland are absolutely rocking and rolling. 15-game win streak. Crushing it. In Memphis, without Triple J, it does feel like one of those janky games where it could get a little bit sideways, but I think the size of Cleveland probably gets them over the top. It's a 2.5 point underdog, though, Grizzlies. I think if Cleveland win this, it's really close. I think these two teams are a little bit closer matched than we probably think. So let's go the Grizz plus 2.5. Because I feel like they could win it. And if they could, let's take them. Minnesota host Orlando with the Magic Men having played today. I think the Magic got a really good win on the road in New Orleans. Now they go to Minnesota. Bigger, tougher ask against Rudy Gobert and co. So we go Minnesota minus 10.5. Charlotte versus San Antonio. Oh, geez. This is a rough one. I think you're just going to have to go San Antone for the simple idea of, like, Charlotte. Oh, actually, the Hornets may be on the road. Plus 3.5. With Miles Bridges filling it up the last little bit. LaMelo. Yeah, let's go the Hornets. Plus 3.5 in San Antonio. Like, they've got no reason not to win. The Lakers, Denver! As mentioned, Luka might not play this one. Let's go the Nuggets minus 13.5. It's a big line. I am not worried by that. I think they curb stomped them. Then we have Phoenix, Sacramento with the Suns out here as well. I think... Stop playing the wrong song. Weird. Sacramento versus Phoenix. The Suns, I think, minus 2.5 against... The way the Kings played today was just horrible. So I'm going to go the Suns minus 2.5. Big KD bounce back. Big Booker game as well. And then Toronto, Utah. Absolute tank commander gear. I think Utah win that one. Minus 1.5. Let's go the Yaz. It's a soft J. And then Sunday, Boston in Brooklyn. I think the Nets just... Look, you want to give them a chance, but yeah, Boston will still win that one. OKC in Detroit. Awesome game. Sneakily fantastic. I'm going to go to the Thunder, though. They should still beat the Pistons. Houston on a back-to-back host Chicago, having played the Mavs the day before. I think the Rockets get that one too. Sneaky one for Chicago at the line, though, just saying. Memphis host Miami. I think the Grizzlies also on a home-and-home back-to-back. I think they get that done with Miami, having played the day before against Boston, then go on the road to Memphis. Bit of a tough ask. Go the Grizz. Indy at Milwaukee. Awesome game. Indy tend to have Milwaukee's number, so I might go Indy in that one. Halliburton versus Dame is always fun. New Orleans at San Antonio. The Pelicans were humbled today, but San Antonio, again, it's a home back-to-back for this team. I think the Pels get by the Spurs in that one. Knicks at Golden State. Awesome game. Knicks on this big road trip of theirs. I think the Warriors probably get another win there. But, I mean, the size of the Knicks, without Jalen Brunson, it's just really hard to judge them. So I'd probably go the Warriors just to win that one. And then Denver should beat Washington at home. Monday, we start at 4 a.m. Bit of a big one. Philly at Dallas. Gross. Dallas probably get that win. They've got actually something to play for. Cleveland host Orlando. A replay of last year's playoffs. I'm going to go the Cavs. Phoenix Lakers. Whoa. Lakers at home. I think the Suns get that one done there. The Lakers just look a little bit discombobulated. Atlanta at Brooklyn. I think we get a big Hawks win against the Nets. Brooklyn at the line would be an interesting one there, just saying. Portland host Toronto. They should kill them. Go the Blazers. Minnesota over Utah. Clippers over Charlotte. And OKC Milwaukee to round out the Monday. How good is that? That's a noon start. So Monday, we should have a show up around 3:30, 4 o'clock. And we'll finish with OKC Milwaukee. That should be awesome. So we'll go the Thunder, I think, in that one in Milwaukee. Awesome. How fun is all this? Oh, Jim, it's pretty fun, isn't it? Yeah, it is. I'll tell you what, it has been an awesome week. Apologies for a couple of those truncated shows in the middle of the week, but I don't think, we missed out on anything, did we? That's the entire point of NBA Straya. We're malleable. We can do what we want. Let us know if there's anything else you want to hear from me in the shows, etc. I'm just out here at your service, trying to make them a bit quicker. This one was a bit longer today just because I wanted to lean into it a bit more. And a couple of really good nars that we had to dig into. So we'll be back on Monday, St. Paddy's Day. We might have a few tins under the belt by the time we get rolling. Who knows? But in the meantime, make sure you're following NBA Straya on Twitter, Facey, IG, TikTok, YouTube. Yeah, that's all of them. And get around, obviously, all the picks over at Dabble. Use the code NBA Straya. Click on the links in the show description, wherever you are watching or listening to the show. Get right around it. Get around NFL Australia with myself and Gaz as well. Each round of the NFL season, we're talking about that. We've just wrapped up the season. We'll have a big off-season wrap as well for you very, very soon. Chuck us a rating and review for those shows on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, whatever app you're using the Android phone. It does help out heaps. That's all I ask. If you're not going to go jump on the Dabble stuff and follow the picks, like, review, star, send in a comment. Go hammer and tongs. I really appreciate it. Thanks always, too, from Oslo for the intro and outro song, as well as House Hats, Joshua Delarentis, Fascinated Gold Mines, Ramshackle Army, Iowa, Sex Shadow, Green, and Dozers. Everybody know the tunes you hear throughout the show. Smash them on Apple Music, Spotify, every listen to your tunes. NBA Straya supports Australian bands. So should you. All right, that's it. We might chuck a Cooking with Baines on this end of this one, maybe. Yeah. All right, we'll catch you on Monday, you dickheads. Have a good weekend. This is NBA Straya saying, look after yourselves, would ya? And let us